Okay, so today you and I are going to send an email to the Players Association. You ready? Then let's do it. Well, hello and welcome, rookie card collectors. Victor, the rookie card specialist, coming at you here today. Here, it's all about the rookie card. We look at the past and present day status of the rookie card, all in an effort to better understand this hobby icon. Hey guys, just a quick update. I've been gone the last couple of weeks. I caught a pretty nasty cold a couple days before Thanksgiving, and that thing just laid me out, man. I had lost my voice. I had a sore throat. It was pretty bad, but thankfully, coming off the season of Thanksgiving, I am thankful that I'm past that cold. And I'll tell you, man, just some things that I noticed that really helped me reflect on some things. When you have health issues, it's a big deal. And I'm typically a person who's very energetic, very motivated. And when you get to the point where you catch an illness and you don't care about anything, I didn't care about baseball cards. I didn't care about my YouTube content. I didn't even care about my job or my responsibilities because I was just that sick. And it's kind of humbling when you're bed stricken that way, and you just get a different perspective on life, and you're just thankful that you get past it through medication and prayers, and you get healthy again, and you get strong, and you start to regain your strength. And it's really something that when you lose your health, you lose something, and you lose a part of yourself, of who you are. And so just thankful to be get through that. And here I am. I know I made a video not too long ago where I wanted to reach out to the Players Association. I told you guys that I would make you a part of that so that you guys can see and understand my process. So that's what this video is going to be about today. And I'm going to take you through the process. A lot of it is really, guys, I'm not in no ways a legal expert of any kind. I do have experience with union organizations, working at the railroad for close to 30 years now. I've had positions of a union steward, and I've also had positions of being in management throughout the years. And so I've worked both sides of the fence on union issues. The biggest challenges that we have at the railroad, at least in my department, is that there's 6 different crafts in my department. That means there's 6 different union agreements, all of them similar, but also very different in the attachments and side agreements. And everybody's very particular and very protective about their agreement. And in a union environment inside of a railroad, railroads have very strong unions, and it's an atmosphere that is very by the book as far as agreements are concerned. And I think it's, it has its advantages, but there's also disadvantages when we start to factor in egos and selfishness and that entitlement type of thing. But I have, throughout my career, I have been on both sides of the fence, and I've learned some things on how to approach management. I've learned some things. I communicated some things when I was the manager, and I had union issues coming in. There was a certain way that, I wanted to be approached, and I was more of a, file a grievance, talk to your union guy. And so I had an open door policy with everybody, but it was one of them things where I didn't want this to be like a revolving door of complaints. I wanted them to follow the proper protocol on filing a complaint. I wanted them, number one, if there was an issue, I wanted them to talk to their immediate supervisor, because the immediate supervisor was the representation of the management team. And so I wanted them, that's your first line of defense. And if there's an issue with your supervisor, then I want you to go talk to your union griever. And maybe between you and your union griever and the supervisor, you guys can figure out what the issue is and fix it. Only then, when you can't get it past that, then you bring it into the manager and get the manager involved if the decision needs to be made, or that type of thing. So all of it was proper procedure for me. Also, attitude. If you came at me with a bad attitude, it probably was, you were probably going to get a bad attitude right back. And so I've learned some things, seeing the different styles of different union grievers, those who were successful in grieving for their organization and others who were unsuccessful. And the biggest thing that I saw and noticed was their approach, the way they handled themselves when bringing an issue to the table. And those who did it respectfully and professionally were more apt to get things done, and as opposed to those who came into the management office with a chip on their shoulder and a little bit of an attitude. Typically, those issues never really got resolved. And so learn some do's and don'ts along the way. And that's what I'm going to take and kind of apply into this situation. And so what I want to do is I want to show you the website of the Major League Players Association. So let me 1 second and I'll be right back, and I'm going to share the screen. Okay, so because of the type of monitor screen I have, this is the biggest that I can get the website. I can't blow it up any bigger than this, unfortunately. Maybe that's something I can work on. But here is the website, the Major League Baseball Players Association website. I have been through this. I have scoured every inch of this website in the last couple of years. It has changed. They have made a lot of changes in the last couple of years, but I have devoured this website looking for clues or indications of baseball card agreements between the Players Association and card manufacturers. That information is not privy to the public. And so I am setting out here today to try to gain some insight or some type of leeway into the Players Association some way, somehow, to the best of my ability. I can't make any promises. I don't know if they'll respond, but I want you, my viewers, to know that I'm going to at least try to take the steps. And let me share with you a couple of things before we actually send the message. So let me come over here. I'm going to go to the About section, and I'm going to go to Staff. The staff is going to bring us here to the department overviews, which Tony Clark holds the highest position over at the MLBPA. He's the executive director. I don't know if some of you realize, but Tony Clark was a Major League Baseball player. He was drafted in 1994 by the Detroit Tigers and had a semi-decent career. And then we start looking here at his board. Executive directors, assistant to Tony Clark. We see Dave Winfield over here, another Major League ball player, Hall of Famer. And here we start to see the different departments, the legal, the finance, operations, international and domestic players. I went through all of these, each and every one, and I come to the conclusion that this one is going to be helpful to us. So let's learn a little bit more. Let me show with you what I've found. So here we have the MLB Players Department, and they're basically in charge of managing all commercial activities for the organization. And you see here, they negotiate agreements with companies to ensure player licensed products are part of the baseball related items, right? And then they share with you kind of what they do and everything else. And you can read that if you want to, but it pretty much tells you that they are responsible for the name, image, and likeness of the Major League ball players who belong to their union organization. And here we see the managing director, Evan Kaplan. Now, this was interesting to me because I recognized Evan Kaplan. He was actually the director of licensing back in 2005. And he was the one who held the press release to the card manufacturers and to Beckett Publications. And they held a press release giving the directions of how the rookie card was going to look going forward. So he was the one spearheading that entire thing. And he has since then been promoted now to managing director. Who replaced Evan Kaplan? is a gentleman by the name of V. Geffen, and he is now the new director of licensing. I tell you, a couple of years ago, I went looking for Evan Kaplan and V. Geffen on social media, and these guys could not be found absolutely anywhere. I mean, you did Google searches, social media contacts. These guys were ghosts. You could not find them anywhere. Since then, they can now be found on LinkedIn. But man, I spent so much time looking for a way to contact these two gentlemen, and I couldn't find it. Well, since that, in the last couple of years, they've hired another gentleman by the name of Jared Finkel. You see him here on the top left-hand side. Now, Jared Finkel is manager of baseball cards, which is a fairly new position. I never heard of that position ever. Here recently, it's been added. Jared Finkel was a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. I believe he was for the Minnesota Twins, I believe. He was drafted in 2017. Played a little bit of pro ball for a while, but now he's found himself a job with the Baseball Players Association, and he is manager of baseball cards. Don't know what the duties are there, but found that very interesting. Another gentleman that I was going to reach out to is Eric Rivera down here, and he is senior coordinator. He is digital gaming and baseball cards. So he also has a stake in the game as far as baseball cards are concerned. Now, basically, this team is the team that's going to represent the Players Association as in the aspect of baseball card manufacturers and guidelines and licensing agreements and contracts with all of that. And they basically lay the footwork of what's allowed and what isn't allowed. And so I was going to reach out to these people, but I thought to myself, no, let's use proper protocol in reaching out. This is my first time reaching out to them. So I want to follow proper protocol, because if I step outside of protocol, right, I'm going to find myself probably in some red tape, and it's going to be pass the buck type of thing. And nobody's going to want to answer anything because they're afraid of getting in trouble with their superiors. And so when you're dealing with this type of situation, it's best to just follow protocol. And the problem that I've had for the last 2 years is that I could not find proper protocol. There was no department that I was able to reach out to. There was no contact information anywhere. I couldn't even send an email to anybody. And so unless I go to social media and start messaging people through LinkedIn accounts, was the only way that I was able to reach out. And I was hesitant in doing that because I just knew that it wasn't going to lead anywhere until here recently. If we go back to the staff, things have changed, and they now have a communications department. And let's learn a little bit more about that. But now the communications department is responsible for talking to the media, talking to what do we have here? Now the communications department is responsible for developing, implementing, and coordinating all media messaging, official releases and announcements, and social media initiatives on behalf of the Players Association. So now they have an actual department that deals with talking to the public. Now we're talking, and this is new. This was not here. This has not been here all that long. And we look, now we have contact information. Look what we got here. Oh my goodness. Now we can actually get to somebody. Well, here we see the 7-person team in the communications department. And look who we have here as senior manager of social media. Those who are in the know and recognize the name Emily Kless. She was the social media manager for Topps for many years. And then she did a short stint with Golden Auctions. And here recently, she is now found herself employed with the Major League Baseball Players Association. And she is the senior manager of social media. Now, I was excited when I saw this, very excited because now I actually have somebody, a department to reach out to. The proper uh, the proper channels are now going to be used. I was going to go directly to Chris Dahl here, who is the director for the communications department, and I figured, I'm probably not going to do that because they have this link down here that says to reach out to the communications department, please contact feedback at mlbpa.org. Bingo. There it is. That's the proper protocol that we're going to use to send our email. And so I figured, it's probably going to go to this this email address here that is kind of like a catch-all. It's probably going to get filtered by the assistants. If they find that my email has any substance to it, it's probably going to get forwarded to Chris Dahl, who is the director. Chris Dahl's going to look over it and probably assign it to the proper person of his choosing down here. And so that's going to be the proper protocol. And I'm going to follow that because I don't want to send Emily a direct message because now she's not going to answer a response because she's going to have to push that email up to her boss. And so I says, no, let's just follow proper channels and be done with it. So with that said, we're going to come down here and press this link, contact feedback at mlbpa.org, and it sends us up an email page, right? So I'm going to go copy. I did write a letter already, but I'm going to go copy and paste it. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to tag this subject line. I'm going to put a rookie card interview request, and I'm going to copy and paste my email. And my email basically says this: to whom it may concern. Let me see if I can't make this a little bigger. Yeah. To say, okay, my name is Victor Roman Sr. from the YouTube channel Victor, the Rookie Card Specialist, and TrueRookieCards.com is the name of my website. The purpose of my content is to look at the past and present day status of the rookie card, all in an effort to better understand this hobby icon. I do this by studying how the rookie card has evolved over the decades, and I'm currently writing a book on the topic. I started collecting baseball cards in 1981 and continued to do so until 2004. So I grew up in what the hobby refers to as the rookie card boom of the 1980s. I started collecting again in 2014 and found myself confused about how the rookie card had evolved. That was until I found a copy of a Beckett Baseball Magazine article released in October 2005, issue number 247. In it, Mike Payne wrote a piece detailing the press conference delivered by then Director of Licensing, Evan Kaplan. My scope of understanding broadened as I began to see the why behind the changes. However, there still seems to be this cloud of confusion. I like to refer to it as the waters have been muddied. The work I've created leads me to believe that the rookie card guidelines have been forsaken by many, but not everyone. That brings me to the purpose of this email. I want to set up an interview with someone from the Players Association that can help me further understand the ever-changing landscape of the rookie card. Overall, I would like to become a liaison between the Players Association and the hobby in proper identification and understanding of the rookie card. Please advise if any of this is possible and the steps I need to take to make it happen. Thank you so much for your time and consideration of this. Regards, Victor, the Rookie Card Specialist. So that is going to entail step one is to take a formal approach, a friendly approach, and use the proper protocol in the rungs of the ladder. In that way, and this is, I believe, our best case scenario to get a response, and that is to do it respectfully. And I'm a big believer in that, and I've seen it and experienced it firsthand. So with that said, you and I are getting ready to send this email to the Players Association. You ready? Here it goes, and sending. Message has been sent. Well, hey, listen, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Stay tuned for an upcoming episode. If I hear something back from them, I will definitely keep you posted. I appreciate you tuning in. Sorry about the scratchy voice. Until next time, see ya.